of your wisdom.
All
Please.
right.
You're very intelligent about it.
Thank you. But like you can.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, it's recording right
Yes,
now?
it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Tripping.
like most people have the 8-hour sleep schedule, but then there's like it's like poly something. I don't know the name, but the point is like you can do like 2-hour naps every like 6 hours of the day, and it's like with 30-minute naps, like every 2 hours or something. I don't know the specific like how it really works.
Yeah.
But basically, overall, you have a lot more time. And the only thing is, if you get on that schedule, you have to be very, very precise. You have to sleep for exactly 30 minutes for every 2 hours on the dot.
Okay, for the record, state who you are, man.
I'm Josh.
You're Josh? Okay. Not to get off on a sidetrack, let's get back to the subject at hand. You were breaking down something before I accidentally pressed stop on this recording.
Why people would spend like
People next door to each other, people next door to each other bought cars, saying something to buy a better car. That's where you left off. Yeah.
Well,
And then he had the floor afterwards. But
yeah, it's like people can easily take the time out to make a really nice meal, and that's actually better because you have more face-to-face time with whomever you're cooking with or eating with. Because cooking is actually it's a great way to like get to know another person and get to know food. And hell, learn how to butcher, learn how to gut a fish, which I think everybody should be able to know.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We need to go fishing, buddy.
My man, what do you got to say? Let the world know who you are. This is Extraterrestrial Radio, Television
Can you change
Talk.
the subject? Go ahead.
My name is Paul, and
I want to say something.
when I went to the state of Israel about 2 months ago, I was at the Wailing Wall. It's the relic of the old temple of God. They say it's where the earth and the heavens meet. And I was standing there praying at the wall, and it dawned on me while I was up against the wall like this. I looked over like this. You know what I see? I see an Israeli soldier with an American rifle on his back, praying at the wall. And I realized that as long as there's money to be made off of war, there will never be peace. It seems to me like if there were peace, the profit margins would go like straight down. And heavens to Dixie, nobody would ever give up free money. So, the governments continue to borrow money to send that money to the military and to the military industries especially in order to continue this vicious cycle where man feasts upon the flesh of man. There's something I bought in Jerusalem. It's a bracelet. It says, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, which means, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. It's the credo of our faith. Now the word Adonai comes from the ancient Semitic word, the same word, Adonai. In Greek, it translates as Adonis. Adonis means Lord. Adonis was a Greek figure. He was idealized as the perfect man. Now in Hebrew, the word Adonai is used in lieu of the name of God, which most of us have forgotten, right? But in Greek, Adonis is the perfect man. Now, it's the dichotomy between those that worship man and those which worship what made man. And that's the great dichotomy in the world. Those that worship themselves versus those that worship what created them. And you find people are ready to send other people to their death. Even if they die, they're just worried about cash money. And that's the great tragedy of our race.
Well, so if you don't believe in God, then you don't have to really kind of worship yourself, because that's really selfish.
But it happens. That's what capitalism does to you. It makes all of the sins into virtues. Sloth, greed, envy, gluttony, lust. At least 5 of the 7 deadly sins have been turned into virtues in the capitalist society.
Mainly greed.
Mainly greed, right? But only to achieve those other ends. And it seems to me like we've fed this vicious and atrocious capitalist system on the backs of of the people that we say we've liberated, right? It's a vicious and hypocritical system that has castrated the black man, and now the black man is striking back in the only way he knows how.
So I think he's going to end on that note. This is an interesting fellow right here, a good friend of mine. He's right now pondering about a lot of wise things, man. What do you got you want to share with us, man? What type of wisdom can you add on to the cipher right now?
On the subject of what?
On the subject of what this brother right here was talking about, you know, as far as the system and the way it's designed and how you view your own philosophical
Doesn't need to have to.
translation of that.
Doesn't need to be about Israel though, because honestly, I don't really know all that much about Israel. I'm not Jewish.
Right, okay.
He looks Jewish, though.
You think this guy looks Jewish?
Hey, when I had long hair, I did.
Okay.
I had like full up Hasidic curls, or I can never remember what they're called.
You do have a curly afro a little bit. Well, you have like the Grease days. Remember the Grease days and guys? Like Fonzarelli
Yeah,
days
the
or
Fonz,
John
man.
Travolta and all them type guys. Yeah.
Fonz was amazing.
So, what are you going to share with us? What's your input?
I don't know. I suppose on the subject of, society is just,
What do you make of the hurricane and then the earthquake back to back? And then, and then after you think about if you were to reflect upon Haiti and then you reflect upon the New Orleans, these are a lot worse. And then Japan, tsunami, and, the other tsunamis that happened before Japan. And the targeting, it seems like. Well, what do you think, man, is going on, man? These mysterious lands getting landslides and catastrophes and
it's just Mother Nature,
Mother Nature.
You can't attribute that to any human thing, other than maybe
Climate change. There are some people that do think that like hurricanes, earthquakes, I don't think really are attributed to climate change at all. But the thing is, like, granted, we've only been industrialized for, 150 years or so. And, like, if that has any part of, increasing their frequency and also, like, how strong...
Are you proud of this country? And what it stands for, what it stood for, what it did to the Native Americans and the African and Holocaust?
No.
You're not?
Not when it comes to...
But do you think that you're benefiting from what happened in the past as a Caucasian male? Honestly?
I can't lie, yeah. I do.
What about you? What's your take on that?
I'm not proud of it, but...
Are you proud of what this country stands for and all of its celebrations, such as its holidays? It's what's called holidays, what could be considered holy days on their calendar. And after you know their history, they brung Africans over here, enslaved them, and had them build everything. And today, Africans are the most poorest people in the United States of America, and uneducated people. And then the Native Americans, they don't get to share none of this land after they've been sabotaged and annihilated and went through that Holocaust.
That's inequality of the education
Are you proud of what this country stood for and what it stands for and where it's at today?
Absolutely not. Not with regard to those terrible occurrences.
Yes, sir.
But if I could add something, when the first of my people came over here,
Who are your people?
the Jewish people,
The Jewish people. What qualifies a person to be a Jew? Because I'm coming from the perspective
in
of
accordance with the Torah,
the Torah.
the Old Testament to Christian people, it requires that a man have a mother who is a Jew. Now, as for whether it's passed through the bloodline or not, really depends on one's perspective. But like I was saying, when we first came to this country, we were not permitted to vote by reason of our not being able to swear on the Holy Bible.
So what can you do now in this country as a Jew?
As a Jew,
What type of positions do you hold, and what type of empowerment are Jews in today? So to
well,
speak?
it varies from Jew to Jew, obviously.
It depends on if you're racist.
I mean,
or not.
not all black people are poor. Take for
Say that again.
It depends on if you're racist or not. If you're racist, you might say they're a banker.
Who in America isn't racist? That's a good question.
In every sense, true.
Well, it seems to me like depending on
The country
your
was
position
built off racism.
in society, you could have great opportunities, or you could have very, very limited opportunities. It depends on one's position, and it's
Okay.
an individual thing, and that's a tragedy. For example, you couldn't tell me that Jay-Z is poor, could you?
I can tell you that he's poor.
He's poor in spirit, perhaps, but not poor in terms of material wealth. You know what I mean? He's rich.
I'd like to elaborate on that after you finish
Rich
with that
by viewing what he surrounds himself with. Perhaps he's missing something in terms of his spirit. And that's the real struggle, you see, is a struggle between what man made and what made man. Understand?
This is ET Television Radio Talk. This brother right here is saying that Jay-Z is materialistically rich. And monetarily rich. He's rich. Okay. What's your take on that, bro? Before I even
Oh, he's definitely rich.
go, he's very rich.
I don't know.
Wow.
Money is pretty crucial.
Kill a man with the amount of hundreds you got, I'm pretty sure you're rich.
Okay, my theory on this Jay-Z being very rich in terms of finances. Well, I feel like, the world of money is an illusion. So I don't think he's rich because it's like, my health is more important to me. That's my God. Money isn't my God, and I think money was created. Well, I can prove that money was created. It's a new element to the planet. If we go back a couple centuries ago or a couple millenniums ago, people were using the barter system. And it's like somehow a mutant has got on this planet and has turned the currency of people's work ethics and energy into a form of paper, into a form of accounts, into a form of property. And it's like your lease on Earth, your autobiography on Earth, your biography is less than 120 years. So at the end of the day, it's all an illusion. Nobody's really rich. Yes, Jay-Z, Nas, or anybody, any of the 50 Cent or those rappers you can name, it's the illusion that's been inflicted upon them by the country that runs and designs and has set up the money marketing system. But to an indigenous person, a person that's more natural, a person that's more ancient than that, they know that money doesn't really exist because they are the money. Michael Jackson is the money. Jay-Z is the money. You know what I'm saying? Nas is the money. 50 Cent is the money. His value is more than people are willing to give these guys anything. They don't have to make any money. They don't make money. They don't print money. And money, like I said, is the root of all evil. And it's an illusion because it's just saying you're allowed to get this and you're not allowed to get this. The haves and the have-nots. So if we got millionaires and billionaires in this country and they're keeping the wealth amongst themselves, Oprah Winfrey included, it's like, how can you have one billionaire and then the whole country's starving? How can you have countless billionaires and the whole country's starving? I know everybody's going to be mad, but
50% of the country has 1% of the wealth.
I'm sorry?
50% of the country has 1% of the wealth. And that's kind of fucked up.
This is not one of my best interviews, you know what I'm saying? I'm confident that I can do a way better job, you know what I mean, in expressing this or articulating this right here. But the bottom line is, a mutant species has created what we know money today. What we know of money as today. No indigenous people to the earth, operates off of a system that has haves and have-nots. Because once you die, what do you really own? Once you're passed to the grave, what do you really own?
Oh, nothing.
When you pass to the grave, what do you really own?
Do you really own anything ever?
Okay, so how can I ask you, those rappers did you name, or any of the people did you name that have money, is their lifespan any longer than the homeless person or the poor bum? No, it's not. It's not by far. They're not by far. I'm sorry. No, I'm talking about the lifespan of even if you live to be 100 and somebody lives to be 80, how much more or how much longer are you really living than that person? You know what I'm saying? And how did you go out? So once again,
And it all depends on your measurement of time. If you live in a world that's heliocentric, like we do.
like who does?
Like all of us.
I don't live in no heliocentric
You
world.
don't think that the Earth circles around the sun? That's how
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. You need to read.
relative thing.
You need to read Of Water and Spirit by Malidoma Patrice Somé, and you also need to read A Song of the Stars by Craigio Mutua. Malidoma happened to leave this earth right from the earth, you know, and the whole world that's hip to it knows about it. So it's like, these aren't my words. This is my wisdom. This is my knowledge. I'm not making none of this up. You can go look it up on Amazon.com and get the book Of Water and Spirit.
Of water and
Yeah, it's the most important book right now in our day of time because it's proven that, you know, nothing is really up and nothing is really down. The way that they have, you ever seen a MacBook?
Yeah.
And you ever seen where they have the constellations where you can have it like you can twirl it and you can, you know, it's the same way. It's the same way. Wherever you take that mouse or that knob and twirl it to, you know, that's exactly the motioning of, you know, the cosmos. Because so if we
I was about to say.
if we were on another world, we would see our sun, our star, as up.
Right.
But in actuality, it's not up or neither down.
There's no up or down in space.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you know, it's like if you had a birthday on Pluto, it's not going to be 360 days. And if you had any daylight hours, it's not going to be the same daylight hours as the daylight hours a day.
So it's all a matter of how you measure time.
No, it's not. It's about the way the planet is slanted. The planet is slanted. That's why you're all right-handed. Most of everybody's right-handed because the planet is slanted at a 23-degree axis and then some. That's why you got 23 hours and then some to get to the 24-hour circadian rhythm.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the planet is definitely a multi-dimensional creature or entity or organism, a living organism.
Gaia. Gaia is what you're talking about.
You know?
The spirit of the earth.
So now, I mean, you see, and the dichotomizing thing is, you know, is when we discuss politics, money, and currency, and then we revert back to our roots of Judaism, Jewishism, or Israelitism, or whatever schools of thoughts or bloodlines we're going to talk about, you know, it's a contradiction. It's a thin line between, you know, the natural world and then the unnatural world. So once again, these people that you're saying have money, Jay-Z, I'm going to say that you can only wear one pair of pants at one time.
Right.
You can only have sex with one woman, with your hole entering another hole at one time. Take your pick. You know, you can only eat one meal at one time. You know, and if you have enough clothes that you'll never run out of having to wear the same outfit, you know what I'm saying, twice. It's like, you know, you can own all, they say you own all this land, but you can't occupy all that space at the same time.
Right. Only one spouse.
And nobody knows when that person's gonna die.
Right.
So that's why they got these necronomicrons walking around with these big inflated egos saying you're worth this and you're worth that. You're worth nothing in the eyesight of God. You should know that if you're claiming to be a Jew. Now, I'm going to end on that note. What do you got to say about people that claim to be rich, but yet their life can be taken in an instance by a tornado or earthquake or a hurricane? What do you got to say about that?
Man, depends on.
Trying to find my rhythm here, you know what I'm saying, so I can come in my natural fluidity, so to speak.
I mean, everybody's got to go sometime.
Everybody's got to go sometime. So there's no such thing as a person being rich, you know, and not in
wouldn't say
in terms of money. It's a contradiction. There's the debate. There's the debate. That's a contradiction because it's like tomorrow you could be in a wheelchair.
Right.
And it's like, then it's like you really were in the illusion that, you know, you were going to go on, you know, walking on two legs. Tomorrow you could be in your grave or your coffin or a coffin or whatever. So that just proves right there that nobody's really living any better than anybody. You know, the gifts that you have that can't be touched is way more powerful and way more. You know, the fact that you can think and create. You can create anything you want to, as long as you're accessing that type of brain percentage, those type of brain hemispheres. But the bottom line is money is not a real issue. It's an illusion. It doesn't cost anything to live on this planet. It does not cost paper to live on this planet. The animals can prove you wrong. Every animal, insect, every bird, every living creature, every aquatic creature can prove that they don't need money and that nobody's rich. And that's what I want to end on that. This is E.T., a.k.a. Extraterrestrial. We're signing out. We're going to take a video commercial radio break, and we'll be back with the next edition or the next episode. How about that? Peace, all right? This is my cameraman right here, by the way. Cute guys. All y'all ladies out there, y'all looking for a cute Caucasian man that's single. Male that's single. Look at this guy. He said, he mentioned to me earlier that, you know.
Fuck you.